Welcome to the YMCA of Reading and Berks County's Reading Branch. My name is Kim Johnson. I'm the President and CEO of the YMCA of Reading and Berks County. I'd like to make a special thank you to Governor Wolf for spending the morning with us, coming to visit, coming to see our preschool counts program and our preschoolers in general. I'd also and play the parachute game. We appreciate that. They appreciate that. I know they do. I'd also like to welcome Deputy Secretary of Education, Sherry Smith. I don't know where she is, but she's here somewhere. Right there. There you are. Okay, thank you. Thank you. We also have some of our elected officials with us today. To my left, our state senator, Senator Judy Schwenk. To my right, State Representative Manny Guzman. To my, you guys did this on purpose. To my left, State Representative Mark Gillen. Also representing State Rep Mark Rossi is Chad Schlanger, somewhere in the back. And also seated in the audience is County Commissioner Kevin Barnhart. Welcome. Welcome. In addition to our elected officials, I'd like to welcome Julia Klein, who is the chairwoman and CEO of C.H. Briggs & Company, and also a member of the PA Early Learning Investment Commission. So she's working a lot on behalf of early childhood. And in addition to that, our United Way of Berks County President, Tammy White. Welcome. We're so pleased to be hosting this event today. I can't tell you how pleased we are. It's been an exciting morning. We've never done this before, so you're our first really big elected official that's been here. Other elected, Judy's here all the time. So we don't prep as hard for you, but we know you're coming. So the YMCA of Reading and Berks County has been serving the community for 163 years. We may very well be the oldest, if not one of the oldest nonprofits in Berks County. The pillars of our mission are youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Our children's program, child care program has been operating since the early 70s and serving children from ages 6 weeks through school age. Our pre-K counts program began in 2018, so we're entering our 4th consecutive year of pre-K counts starting in September. Throughout our child care programs, both here and our Richmond Early Learning Center, we serve 130 preschool children. We're currently approved for 60 slots in pre-K counts and are actively enrolling for fall. Early childhood education has been a priority for the YMCAs and the YMCAs as a whole because of the long-term transformational effects it has on children and families. I'm thrilled that Governor Wolf is visiting our program today to mark the passage of the 2021-22 budget, adding $30 million to pre-K programs for Pennsylvania 3 and 4-year-olds. Thank you, Governor Wolf. We can't thank you enough. This is a huge investment in our community and certainly a huge investment in our kids. Programs at the YMCA, along with other area providers, are always maintaining waiting lists. Pandemic slowed it up a little bit, but we're getting back on track. And our pre-K programs and the resources help reduce those waiting lists. As we continue to recover from the pandemic, we personally do not have a waiting list yet. We're actively enrolling right now, and we anticipate probably having one in fall. The $30 million will increases the importance because looking at Berks County as a whole, we know 70% of low-income eligible 3 and 4-year-olds do not have access to publicly funded high-quality preschool programs. This equates to more than 4,500 low-income eligible 3 and 4-year-olds who just aren't getting access to these programs. Across Pennsylvania, there are more than 106,000 eligible 3 and 4-year-olds that are still waiting. When you see firsthand the impact that pre-K is having on the lives of young children, we quickly realize that all children should have access to these once-in-a-lifetime programs. I want to thank Governor Wolf for his consistent leadership that has led to more state funding for pre-K counts and Head Start every year in his budget. The governor's leadership, paired with strong bipartisan support in the state capitol, has resulted in pre-K being a funding priority for the Commonwealth. Governor, again, thank you for being here with us today. We appreciate it. I know you wanted to spend more time with the kids. Did Reagan get her autograph or Emma get her autograph? Okay, good. Good. I want to make sure, because that was a priority for Emma and Reagan, to make sure they got autographs. So it's my pleasure at this time to introduce Governor Tom Wolf.
Thank you, Kim. And it's great to be here with my fellow legislators, Senator Schwank, Mark. This is the first time Mark has ever been introduced as on the left, by the way. And Manny, it's good to have you here. And all of you, Tammy and Sherry. And Julie, of course, is from C.H. Briggs. I know she's here as part of the Early Learning Investment Commission. But I was a True Value hardware store manager way long ago, and we were a Briggs customer, so I appreciate your being here too. I want to talk about two things. The early childhood education, what we're seeing here today, is important for two different reasons, and they're both very important to all of us in Pennsylvania. The first is that early childhood education obviously makes a big difference in the educational experience and the lives and careers of the students who are able to take advantage of this opportunity. We know that someone who does well and has access to good early childhood education does much better in life than those who don't. The second thing is we had a bipartisan task force that was co-chaired actually by the head of the Pennsylvania AFL-CIO and also the head of the Pennsylvania State Chamber. And we're trying to find out what were the biggest barriers to employment in Pennsylvania, to jobs. And one of them was the lack of access to child care. And so what I want to talk about today is not just the educational aspect, but also the child care part. That really is important for our economy. So let me start with the early childhood education. This is absolutely crucial for our children and for our families. Children who learn in a high-quality pre-K program perform much better than their peers who don't. They're more likely to graduate, and they're more likely to earn more money throughout their lives and careers. So high-quality early learning programs can help students build the early learning skills they need. They say that saves money. We don't have to spend as much in special education. And by the way, the budget included an additional $50 million for special education. But if kids who go through pre-K programs we spend less on special education and less in remediation costs. We have access. When you have good early childhood education, we give access to supportive, high-quality child care that is actually something that is important, especially if you're unlucky enough not to have the social economic advantages that, say, I had when I was growing up. Early childhood education programs set students up for success. And when our children are successful in school and beyond, that sets our Commonwealth up for success too. And that's why all of us here standing with you have fought so hard to support early learning in Pennsylvania. I think in the Early Learning Investment Commission, we used the old Fram oil filter ad, pay me now or pay me later with early childhood education. If we do it right the first time, we don't have to keep paying for it over and over again. So this is important, and during my now 7 years in office, Pennsylvania has doubled its investment in early childhood education. We now have over 28,000 students, pupils, kids, who are able to take advantage of low-cost early childhood education, the pre-K program, and I think 7,000 or more who are able to take advantage of expanded Head Start. And this year's budget increased that amount once again. $30 million, $25 million for pre-K, and $5 million for Head Start. So this is really important in terms of the brain development, in terms of what this means for the educational opportunities and the careers of the kids who can take advantage of this early childhood education opportunity. But again, early childhood learning programs also help the economy by creating an opportunity, an option for parents who need to work and who want to keep their kids in some place other than in front of a TV screen. And so They give parents and caregivers the support they need to have a job. Pennsylvania, as we all know, is getting back on track after the pandemic. And our investment in quality early childhood learning and child care programs is a crucial part of that getting back to normal. So in addition to that new $30 million investment in early childhood education, the Commonwealth is also investing $700 million from the ARP, the American Rescue Plan funding, to support child care. This is federal money, and it's for child care to help remove one of the big barriers to employment. This ensures that high-quality early childhood education and child care options are available to families who want them. So, we're making a big investment in our future here in Pennsylvania by investing in the education and in the care of our children. It's going to help our Commonwealth get back on track from the pandemic right now, and it's going to pave the way to a more prosperous future for all of us. This is a big step, but with support at the federal level, we can do even more to help parents and our economy. And I'm pleased to see that the President and the Senate in the United States, down in Washington, have prioritized funding for universal preschool in the budget reconciliation package. An investment like this is going to give Pennsylvania's children the foundation they need, and it's going to help grow the Commonwealth's economy, because that's the foundation that we all need. So thank you to our President and leaders at the federal level for putting our children and our future first. And now I'm going to turn this over to Sherry Smith, who is the Pennsylvania Department of Education Deputy Secretary for the Office of Elementary and Secondary Education. Sherry. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Governor Wolf. There you are. For inviting me to join you and our partners in teaching and learning here at the Y today. I didn't know I'd have the added bonus of playing parachutes with some of our young people today. I think it's been 40+ years since I've had that opportunity. So thank you for allowing me to enjoy our children here this morning. I'm truly honored to stand with all of you and highlight critically important investments in education. Specifically today, we're highlighting the $30 million increase in early childhood education funding this year's state budget. This budget continues to build upon and invest in the places we know resources and educated are needed the most. On behalf of the Pennsylvania Department of Education, I'd like to thank our governor and members of our General Assembly for continuing to invest in high-quality early learning programs. This funding clearly supports children, but it also helps our centers and our schools expand opportunities, continue to innovate, and evolve systems and structures to better serve and support our youngest learners. Investments in our children as they learn and grow during their first few years is critical, very critical. I know this not only as the Deputy Secretary of Education, but also as a lifetime K-12 educator when I navigated the disparities that a lack of access to early learning education created for certain children. We know, and studies have proven, that high-quality early education programs make a lifelong impact and difference. These programs help a child's language, math, problem-solving, and social skills development, and it creates that strong foundation they need to continue to be successful in their future education as well as their personal growth and success. But that's not all these programs do. Funding for high-quality early learning programs creates access, which in turn breaks down barriers, especially for our most vulnerable children. I think we can all agree that every child should have the opportunity to achieve to their highest potential. This is important work. To support our children in achieving their dreams begin in their earliest years and is cultivated by high-quality early childhood education programs and experiences. These programs don't exclusively impact our youngest learners. They also make an immense impact on our families, communities, and the Commonwealth as a whole. Studies show that early childhood education programs make short and long-term economic impacts. They support working families, which helps improve the labor productivity, that reduces future incarceration rates, and they create upward mobility across the Commonwealth. I'm proud of and grateful for this incredible opportunity to invest in our collective future. Thanks again for the opportunity for joining you today, and I'd like to invite Yesenia Vasquez to the podium to make a few remarks. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for including me. I'm here this morning both as a staff member here at the Y, but also as a mother of a former pre-K count student that was here. Pre-K education is truly once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I have seen it in my own child. My daughter entered kindergarten knowing how to write her first and last name. She knew how to identify all her letters, her numbers from 1 to 20, and knew the sounds of her letters as well. Her teacher was so impressed they had to give her extra things to do during the day because if not, she got bored and became a little naughty. My child has been better off in kindergarten and will now go to first grade being able to also read at a first grade level, thanks to pre-K counts starting her off on the right foot. All kids in Pennsylvania deserve this opportunity, and here at the Y, hopefully we can give all of them that opportunity with our 60 slots. Governor, I want to thank you today for being a champion for our pre-K students, and our students want to thank you as well with this thank you note.
Thank you.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce Tammy White with the United Way of Berks County.
Good morning. And Governor, thank you again for coming to visit us here in Reading and to see this wonderful program in this wonderful facility. You know, a core belief of United Way is that everyone deserves opportunities. Opportunities to be happy, healthy, successful, and financially stable. The foundation for achieving life success is access to quality education. Quality learning, starting with our youngest citizens. Don't we all win when a child succeeds in school? Last year, United Way of Berks County invested more than $3 million in support of educating children in our community, including right here at the YMCA. As an organization, we are focused on third grade reading proficiency. Why? Because a child is learning to read through third grade. After that, they are reading to learn. When students struggle with reading, they struggle with learning. And that makes them 4 times more likely to drop out of school and 13 times more likely if they also live in poverty. In Berks County, nearly 2,000 or 40% of third graders are struggling readers. This is why literacy development early in life is so critical and why United Ways across Pennsylvania partner in the Pre-K for PA campaign. We are encouraged that the Pre-K for PA campaign is a nonpartisan campaign with a vision that every 3- and 4-year-old in the Commonwealth should have access to high-quality pre-K, beginning with our most in need. We also know Pennsylvanians value pre-K. Last year, 94% of registered voters agreed early care and education are important. Imagine trying to get 94% of people to agree on anything. It's near impossible. Yet they did when it came to early education, because it works. A new study conducted by the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill confirmed the Commonwealth's investment in pre-K counts is paying dividends. In language and math skills, the study showed kids enrolled in pre-K counts outperformed their kindergarten peers who did not have access. This advantage equated to 4 to 5 months of learning gains, which is unbelievably substantial in this area of age development. These outcomes are significant. Language and math skills have been shown to be the school readiness skill that most strongly predicts later academic achievement. Everyone associated with the Pre-K for PA campaign appreciates policymakers in Harrisburg and the fact that they understand the irrefutable value of investing in high-quality pre-K. We appreciate this year's state budget and the fact that it continues the tradition of making this opportunity available for thousands more of Pennsylvania's kids. Governor, Thank you so much for your leadership, and we are so grateful for your investment. It is now my pleasure to introduce Julia Klein, Chairwoman and CEO of C.H. Briggs Company and a member of the Pennsylvania Early Learning Investment Commission.
Hi, everyone. The Early Learning Investment Commission is a group of business leaders across the Commonwealth who come together on the singular theme that investment in early learning is the single best thing we can do to develop tomorrow's workforce. I'm also a member of the Berks Early Learning Commission, which is a collaboration across policymakers, the private sector, the nonprofit sector, everybody who's interested in making sure we're doing really well in this area right in Berks County. The funding that you've heard about today helps our current workforce, and it develops tomorrow's workforce. And it develops really good citizens. It is the epitome of a great long-term investment. It's nonpartisan, it's non-political, it's not controversial, and the science, the brain science behind investment in early learning is irrefutable. Business leaders across the Commonwealth have come together in all of our communities and across the Commonwealth to influence our policymakers to make sure that we're investing today to make sure that every kid is ready to learn, ready for kindergarten, so that by the time they get to third grade to be ready to read, they have all the skills and all the fundamentals that they need. Business leaders across the Commonwealth believe that the early learning is the single best investment of our tax dollars at work. So we thank you, Governor Wolf, and thank you to our state legislature. Our policymakers in Berks County have been stalwart advocates for early learning, and we're very grateful. And every child in Berks County deserves the opportunity to have high-quality pre-K, high-quality education before they get to kindergarten. There's still a long way to go. The new investment this year makes it easier and better for a whole lot more kids. So with that, I'd like to introduce Senator Judy Schwenk, who's been really our leader in this area for a long time. Judy, go ahead.
Thank you, Julia, and thank you everyone for coming together to talk about pre-K and early learning and child care here right in our community, Reading, Berks County. It's always great to have you here, Governor Wolf. So thank you for being here. We're really honored. Every budget year is different, right? We knew this year was going to be a difficult one simply because of, some of the politics behind it. And we don't always get everything that we want in a budget. But one thing that I got, thanks to the governor's leadership and my colleagues here who care about this too, no matter what side of the aisle they're on, they get it. They get it that investments in early education and in pre-K really makes a difference. So we did get that. And Governor Wolf, since he's come to Harrisburg, has made sure every year that this was a priority. I don't know, is it because you like to come to daycares and play parachute? You did great, by the way. You didn't have to bend down, you were fine. But at any rate, we've heard all of the benefits of pre-K, we've heard the benefits of early learning and great daycare. We just came out of a pandemic. So what does that mean to us locally here in Berks County? We know the pandemic disrupted everything. No corner of our economy was left untouched. We're starting to come back. Things are starting to feel normal again. As we recover, however, we've got to consider how the pandemic interrupted education and deepened inequities that already exist in our community. We have to get back on track and support and expand access to early education. It's too critical to the long-term success of the Commonwealth. I know it sounds trite, but those little kids that made us feel so good this morning are our future. Every single one of them has a role to play in how, whether they stay in Berks County or Pennsylvania or not, the future of our nation, how we will thrive as a society. So it matters so much to make this investment right now. And by the way, it's not just about their education. This has such a significant impact on families. It's hard to go to work. While it's many, many years for me, and now as a grandmother, I've been in daycare for years and understand so much of what it means to families. There is nothing like that feeling, when you drop your child off at a good daycare center where you know they're going to be well cared for. Not only that, but learn as well and interact with other kids. It helps to connect parents to education. None of us are born knowing how to be parents, right? So being engaged in your center helps you to learn and to connect and understand what you need to do to help your children be successful as well. We're in the summer. We know that, we read every day that the employment issue is very critical, not only in Berks County, but in the Commonwealth and the nation as a whole. But we know that one of the #1 reasons why people are reluctant to go to work is because they don't have access to high-quality daycare, or they don't have pre-K programs, Head Start programs to get their kids engaged. And the summer is particularly hard. It's a logistical nightmare because many of these programs that are operating are not full-time. So it makes so much sense to have a place like the Reading YMCA, who has been a leader in this community in terms of pre-K and early learning and daycare. As Kim said, I've been here many times, so I have seen it. And one thing that I would like to add that didn't, I think she was a bit too modest to talk about it, both Kim and our United Way leader, Tammy, is the program. We're cutting edge in Berks County in terms of training educators to be the teachers for our children in pre-K, daycare, and Head Start. So we know that we've invested, Governor, money from the Department of Labor and Industry to help support a grant to begin training and education for these teachers in Berks County, and we hope to continue that program. There's also been private commitment of funds to that as well through some incredible volunteers in our community, and of course, our United Way has stepped up. So just to end, thank you for your leadership, Governor, but thank you to all our local partners for understanding how important, from the county to our private, institutions, private daycares and other centers, some of them based in religious institutions as well. In this community, in Berks County, we get it, how important our investments in our children are. And I'm pleased, so pleased to represent it and hope to continue those efforts in my role as a state legislator. So I will now turn the podium over to one of my colleagues in the House, State Representative Manny Guzman. Manny?
Hey everyone, good morning. Governor, welcome to the city of Reading and to my district. The YMCA, especially here to the YMCA, this place has a lot of great memories for me. I was one of those kids who came to the YMCA during after-school program hours, and I played basketball in this very gym, volleyball as well. So, and I tell you what, the days that I spent in this environment, Governor, kept me out of some trouble. So I appreciate that as well. This is a very important topic for me because it hits home for me personally. I have a constituent who just so happens to also be my sister, Christina, who is a mother of 4 young kids in the city of Reading. Unfortunately, Governor, she is one of those parents who can't get their children in one of these high-quality daycare centers because of the wait list. So I'm gonna have to circle back with her to get her into the Y for sure. So she calls me. I tell her, Christine, I'm having a press conference with the governor to talk about early childhood education. Is there one thing you want me to tell the governor? And Governor, these were her exact words. We need more funding, and daycare is too damn expensive. Those are her 2 things. We need more funding, and daycare is too damn expensive. And why is that the case? In the richest, most powerful country in the world, why do we have students, why do we have kids who go who live in environments who don't have access to high-quality pre-K counts educational programs? Why does my sister have to grow up in the city of Reading in a world where her kids have to grow up where they don't have access to pre-K high-quality education? And it's a damn shame. As was mentioned earlier, there are over 4,000 kids, most of them who live in the city of Reading, Governor, who don't have access to high-quality pre-K education. So I'm thankful and humbled that we've made such a momentous investment in this vehicle, but rest assured that there are still many more children who are falling through the cracks, even including here in the city of Reading. And so we need to do more. And obviously, as Senator Schwenk said, this is my first budget, so I don't really have much to base it off of, but my biggest belief is that budgets are visionary documents. And unfortunately, in my opinion, and I can't share anybody else's but my own, this budget, while it did have some great successes, there are obviously some missed opportunities as well. We could have fully invested in pre-K education and made sure that no kid in the Commonwealth, including thousands of kids in the city of Reading, have the opportunity to go to a pre-K educational program. That's something that we could have did this year in this budget. We could have fully funded our schools too. Governor, you're here in the city of Reading. We are the most underfunded school district in the entire Commonwealth. One of the most underfunded school districts in the entire country. That's right here in the city of Reading. And so we recognize that this budget, there are a lot of great things that we can be happy about, whether it's the $30 million investment that we have for pre-K kindergarten, whether it's the $6 million extra dollars that we're getting for level up funding for the school districts. But on that note, very quickly, Governor, here in the city of Reading, I also represent the Governor Mifflin School District, the tale of two districts. One district, the city of Reading, got $6 million in level up funding. My other school district, Governor Mifflin, actually had to raise taxes in order to meet their educational needs and requirements. So this is an issue that we know is impacting brown and black communities as well as poor white communities as well. And so I'm looking forward to getting back to work in September and ensuring that we fully fund all of our school districts, that we fully fund our pre-K educational program, because I want my sister, and just like all the thousands of other mothers here in the city of Reading, to have access to pre-K counts. And I believe we can get that done with the right amount of work in Harrisburg. And I'm looking forward to working with you, Governor, and Representative Gillen, and with Senator Judy Schwenk in order to make that happen and to make that count. Thank you so much, y'all. And let me also introduce, finally, our last speaker, last but not least, Representative Mark Gillen. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. I will be extraordinarily brief for three very good reasons. Julia Klein has been fanning herself for 15 minutes over there, and I don't want her to give me a hard time. I also only had 3 quarters to put in the parking meter, and so I'll shortly be getting a ticket. And Commissioner Barnhart and I are meeting afterwards off-site, so as long as he's here, I'm good. We were playing with the parachute play canopy over there, and the Governor and I and Senator Schwenk visited a little bit, and I said to the governors, we were having a discussion there, that I have owned a parachute play canopy for over 30 years. And I just took it out this past weekend. I had no idea we were going to be playing with one today. My children, I have 5 daughters. The youngest is 8 years old. They're starting to get out a parachute play canopy, but we actually travel around with it. I bought it in an Army-Navy store 30 years ago, and the cords were off of it, and it's remarkably sturdy. It's a great bonding experience. It's fun for all ages. And as I came into the facility today, I think I came in the wrong door. I was steered some distance to get over here, but I passed one of the groups of children. You know, not only were they learning, and so much has been said about the investment in early childhood education. I voted for all of the budgets that included extra dollars in pre-K counts, special education. Proud to stand with the governor, proud to stand with my colleagues with regard to that investment. And we talk about increasing the brain power and the economic viability and where young people end up down life's highway. But I think a part of the reason is when I walked by and those children were enjoying themselves and having a positive experience, there was a caring mentor that was with them. There was somebody over there that was making an influence in their life. There was an individual working with them that they will never forget. And in a variety of settings that we find ourselves in, the families and the community need support. And this is an anchor. And for that reason and so many others, I'm proud to stand with my colleagues and say, this is worth it. And not only did I vote for a budget and increase that aid, I plan on doing the same in subsequent years. So thank you for being here. Ms. Kim, you have the podium.
Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Certainly, thank you for sharing your thoughts on our pre-K counts programs and everybody's pre-K counts programs in childcare. Representative Guzman, have your sister call the Y. I will. We'll make sure to get her in as best we can. But on behalf of our staff, some of which are behind in the back of the gym, I really want to thank Governor Wolf and Deputy Secretary Smith for being here with us today. We can't thank you enough for all you're doing for early education. It means the world to our kids. So thank you.
So I'd be happy to take any questions. I can see anything. I don't think, let me just say one final thing, because the United Way, I've been in politics now for 7 years. Before that, I was a business owner over in York County. And my company, back in the early 90s, when we started recognizing the importance of early childhood education, actually made a big investment through the United Way of York County to start the early childhood focus that we had then. And I think that has become much more broadly acknowledged now. But in the early 90s, we were among the first. So I had been on an early childhood education kick for a long, long time. I understood how important it was when I was in the private sector, and I continue to understand how important it is right now as we continue to move forward. So I want to thank you, the United Way, the Y, for your commitment, and of course my fellow public servants for all the stuff that we've done to make sure that early childhood education is not lost on the folks in Harrisburg. So thank you very much. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you.